The movie begins with a young man named Arnie standing on top of a tall water tower in the small town of Endora, Iowa. People gather below, watching nervously. The police arrive, concerned for his safety. Gilbert, Arnie's older brother, stands with a megaphone, calmly singing to Arnie, trying to bring him down safely. Gilbert is patient, and after a while, Arnie finally calms down and climbs down. Gilbert thanks the officers and promises them it won't happen again.
It turns out Arnie has been climbing the town's water tower repeatedly.
Among the crowd, a young woman on a bicycle watches Gilbert with curiosity and admiration. She keeps glancing at him as they leave the scene. Back at home, Gilbert and Arnie have breakfast with their mother, Bonnie, who is obese and has been housebound for years. Their two sisters, Amy and Ellen, handle most of the housework. The family has faced hardship ever since their father lost his business 17 years ago and took his own life. Later, Gilbert and his siblings drive towards Lamson's grocery, where Gilbert works. At the shop, an elderly woman walks in, looks around uneasily, and then leaves. The shop owner becomes frustrated and asks Gilbert if the new supermarket, Foodland, is affecting their business. As Gilbert and Arnie prepare to leave for the day, the owner asks Gilbert to deliver groceries to Mrs. Carver. At Mrs. Carver's house, it's revealed that Gilbert and Mrs. Carver are having an affair. They begin to get intimate, but Gilbert becomes uneasy when he sees Mr. Carver playing with their children outside. Gilbert quickly pulls up his pants and leaves. As he drives away, Mr. Carver calls him over and hands him some money for the delivery, unaware of the affair. At home, Bonnie tries to convince Arnie not to climb the water tower again. The family gathers for dinner, discussing and arguing about Arnie's upcoming 18th birthday. Later that night, Gilbert gives Arnie a bath, carrying him on his back and comforting him until he falls asleep. The next day at work, Mrs. Carver visits Gilbert again. She reminds him of her wedding anniversary coming up on Thursday and requests groceries. Gilbert agrees to deliver them. That same day, the girl from the water tower incident enters the shop. Her name is Becky. Gilbert is assigned to deliver groceries to her. Becky and her grandmother are stuck in town after their trailer breaks down during the annual Airstreamers Club gathering. When Gilbert and Arnie arrive at Becky's place, Arnie excitedly grabs the groceries but trips and spills them. Gilbert apologizes, but Becky brushes it off kindly. Later that evening, Gilbert invites a friend over to help with basement repairs. As they work, Bonnie tries to come downstairs, but the floor creaks dangerously under her weight, causing concern. Later that night, Gilbert drives to Becky's place. While there, Mr. Carver unexpectedly shows up, reminding Gilbert about their earlier conversation. Becky invites Gilbert to stay for dinner. At home, Gilbert is seen giving Arnie a bath again. Wanting to spend time with Becky, Gilbert convinces Arnie he is a big boy who can bathe himself. Gilbert leaves Arnie alone in the bath and goes to see Becky. They talk, laugh, and eventually sleep together. When Gilbert returns home late, he finds Arnie still in the bathtub, shivering and naked. Gilbert is devastated. Bonnie is furious, and the family is deeply upset. Arnie develops a fear of water because of the incident. The next day, Gilbert receives another grocery delivery request for Mrs. Carver. During the visit, Mrs. Carver surprises Gilbert by making him call her husband. As Gilbert speaks, Mrs. Carver kneels down and unzips his pants, trying to seduce him. Gilbert becomes flustered, cuts the call short, and tells Mrs. Carver he's leaving. She accuses him of being interested in the new girl, Becky, but Gilbert walks away. Later that evening, Gilbert visits Mrs. Carver's house again, only to find his best friend there. His friend informs Gilbert that Mr. Carver has committed suicide by drowning himself. The next morning, Arnie is arrested for climbing the water tower once again. Bonnie, distressed by the news, demands that Gilbert drive her to the sheriff's station. This is a significant moment, as Bonnie has not left the house in years. They arrive at the station, and Bonnie insists on Arnie's release. Despite the sheriff's formalities, Bonnie's presence and persistence lead to Arnie being released. As they leave, a crowd gathers outside to see Bonnie. People mock her appearance, and children laugh. Bonnie becomes silent and withdrawn after this public humiliation. At home, the family prepares for Arnie's 18th birthday. Gilbert buys a cake, but Arnie sneaks into the fridge and eats it before the party. Gilbert becomes angry and chases Arnie around the house. He catches him and, in a moment of frustration, slaps Arnie several times. Overcome with guilt, Gilbert storms out of the house. On the day of Arnie's birthday, Gilbert returns and asks Amy where Arnie is. She tells him to find Arnie himself. Gilbert eventually finds Arnie and apologizes. They make up, share a laugh, and spend some time together. Later, Gilbert introduces Becky to his mother. At first, Bonnie is reluctant to meet her, fearing judgment. However, Becky treats Bonnie with kindness and respect. They have a heartfelt conversation, and Bonnie asks Becky to take good care of Gilbert. After Arnie's birthday party, Bonnie struggles to climb the stairs to her bedroom, something she hasn't done since her husband's death. Each step is a challenge, and she struggles to breathe. With great effort, she reaches her bed and calls out to Arnie, asking for her birthday boy. Arnie comes to her with a smile, but Bonnie doesn't respond. Arnie, worried, runs outside crying. Amy comforts him, and they both realize Bonnie is no longer breathing. Gilbert and Ellen come to check, and they all understand that Bonnie has passed away. The family sits in silence, mourning their loss. The sheriff arrives, but informs them that moving Bonnie would require additional men, which would attract a crowd. The family, wanting to avoid public humiliation, decides to burn the house down with Bonnie inside. They gather their belongings and watch the house burn, standing together in tears. A year later, Gilbert and Arnie wait by the roadside for the tourist trailers to return. Becky and her grandmother arrive in their trailer and pick them up. As they drive away, Gilbert tells Arnie, "We can go anywhere."